Hi, I'm Magdi Serri, class of 1980 and a proud aspirante from Brooklyn, New York. Today, I'm Verizon's Chief Diversity Officer, and I'm honored to serve on ASPIRA's board as its Vice Chair and the Chair of its fundraising committee. ASPIRA was an important part of my life because not only did it help me to succeed and achieve my goals, but it reminded me of my civic responsibility to open doors for others. ASPIRA helped me stay grounded in my academics and also dream big about what was possible in my future. And not only for my future, but ASPIRA taught me about servant leadership and how I needed to always remember to pay it forward. And ASPIRA's been doing for others what they've done for me for 60 years. And all of us as alumni have to think about what we might do to contribute so that ASPIRA is around for 60 more years. Congratulations, ASPIRA, and thank you for what you did for me and what you continue to do for so many.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ASPIRA of New York's annual Circle of Achievers Virtual Gala. I'm Diana Alvear. I'll be your host for this special evening, and I am so honored to be here. As you heard from Magda up top, this one is a special one. Tonight, we are celebrating ASPIRA of New York's 60th anniversary. That's right. ASPIRA has been transforming lives and leaving a lifelong impact on Latino youth for 60 years, work which cannot be done without the support of our very generous sponsors. Now, we know it's been a challenging time for everybody. 2020 sure was a doozy, but that is not going to stop us from supporting ASPIRA and highlighting our students, the service that you support, and tonight's honorees. And representing our corporate sponsors tonight is our Circle of Achievers Dinner Corporate Chair, Verizon's Chief Finance Officer, and an honorary aspirante for his years of incredible support, Matthew Ellis.
Hello. It's an honor to gather with you again this year as the corporate chairperson of tonight's Circle of Achievers Virtual Gala. I look forward to this opportunity to invest in students who are already leaders in their schools and communities and who will someday lead our institutions. This year, it's extra special given all they've had to endure. And as we might expect, our aspirantes, even during extraordinary circumstances when many turn inward, these student leaders reached out to meet the needs in their communities. They launched a peer-to-peer tutoring initiative where they are helping students who are having a hard time with remote learning due to language barriers and limited access to support. Thanks to your generous support, ASPIRA continues to serve students and their families virtually. In addition to after-school leadership development, college access programming, and homework help, students engage in virtual karate, beginner's piano, chess, cookshop, art, virtual field trips, and are provided with mental health resources. To assist with remote learning, Wi-Fi hotspots have been provided for connectivity and internet access. Thanks to you, through a global pandemic, economic downturn, and racial crisis, ASPIRA was able to maintain its focus to provide students more choices and greater possibilities to achieve their academic and career aspirations. In the most challenging times, you are opening doors of opportunity for young leaders and building the talent and skills required for sustaining our organizations and society as a whole. Much has been done, and there's more to do. I salute all of you who continue to invest through scholarships, internships, and other programming to develop the workforce and leaders for our future. Thanks to you, this annual dinner has raised over $4.6 million in the past 10 years. Your generosity has helped ASPIRA of New York double the number of young people served from 3,000 to over 6,000. One of ASPIRA of New York's hallmark initiatives, the Leadership and College Access Program, realized a 100% graduation rate among high school seniors, with 99% of graduates entering college, the majority of which were first-generation college entrants. A lot can be accomplished when corporations partner with organizations like ASPIRA. It takes organizations like these and individuals like you to continue to grow our impact. With that in mind, we want to make sure you have an opportunity to make a personal donation tonight. Yes, I did say personal. Through Text to Pledge. Technology makes everything simpler and faster. And if you have the authority to make an additional pledge on behalf of your organization, please do that too. Let's raise an additional $60,000 tonight through personal donations in honor of our 60th anniversary gala. Let's get 100% personal participation. Whatever level your donation might be, we thank you for it. No donation is too small or too big. The Circle of Achievers Gala not only raises very necessary funds for ASPIRA programs, thanks to your support, we are also able to salute corporate achievers and honor ASPIRA scholars. Congratulations to each of you.
Gracias, Matt. And he's right. Without your financial support, we cannot do the incredible things we do. And your support has been incredible. Thanks to many of you, tonight's gala has raised over $1 million. Now imagine if for ASPIRA of New York's 60th anniversary, you can help us raise $60,000. It's so easy to give. Just dial 41444 and text ASPIRA NY anytime tonight. All right, let's take a moment to thank the companies who have made generous donations, our platinum, gold, silver, and bronze sponsors. Next, I want to introduce you to an aspirante that you all may be familiar with, ASPIRA's own CEO, Carmen Diaz-Malvido. Carmen, take it away.
Diana, thank you so much, and thank you to everyone joining us this evening or watching on replay. It is my great honor to celebrate ASPIRA of New York's anniversary and our second virtual Circle of Achievers Gala. A year ago, we did not imagine a global pandemic lingering on and changing our modes of communication and human connection. Yet here we are, pivoting, standing united with our aspirantes and community at large. Over the course of 60 years, ASPIRA of New York has adapted to meet the needs of youth and families while staying true to our mission of fostering the social advancement of Puerto Rican Latino youth through the pursuit of leadership development and educational excellence. Today, we celebrate the legacy of Dr. Antonia Pantoja's leadership, whose vision, dream, and perseverance continues to carry on. We celebrate our aspirantes who strive to surpass unforeseen challenges and are actively engaged in problem solving to change the course of their communities and lives. Dr. Pantoja's legacy is alive through aspirantes across all fields, from the nonprofits to corporate America. This past year as an organization, we have learned to become nimble as we pivot to ensure positive youth development initiatives and prioritize health and safety. We have strengthened our ASPIRA virtual modules that support academic enrichment, creative after-school programming, including remote ASPIRA Clubs Federation, college advisement, service learning, and coming soon, our first virtual City Youth Conference. We remain committed to providing in-person after-school programs for our elementary and middle school students. This has not been an easy feat. The impact of COVID-19 in our communities is real and very much an ongoing public health concern. On a weekly basis, we pivot from in-person to remote services based on the health status of our public school partners. Social-emotional learning strategies have been fundamental to ASPIRA's capacity to help our students thrive both in and outside classrooms. Our capacity to continue supporting our youth would not be possible without the dedicated and compassionate staff members who go above and beyond to create a semblance of normalcy in an unknown space. I am most grateful for their grit and tenacity to keep moving forward. Our senior class has been resilient and said presente in taking the necessary steps to enter higher education, navigating the changing rules of admission, financial aid, and virtual college tours to ultimately decide the next 4 years of their journey. We are so proud of our scholars and invigorated by their drive. Congratulations to all our scholarship recipients. This is just the beginning of your bright futures. Once an aspirante, always an aspirante. Let us keep paying it forward. On behalf of ASPIRA of New York's Board of Director and staff members, thank you all for your unwavering support and for partnering in building bridges to strengthen our communities. This would not be possible without you. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias, Carmen. And who cared more about building bridges for our Latino youth than the woman who created ASPIRA nearly 6 decades ago, Dr. Antonia Pantoja. Tonight, we have the privilege of introducing some outstanding Latino and Latina achievers that would make her proud. All of the achievers honored tonight are excellent professionals representing great companies and the absolute best of the Latino community. On behalf of our top sponsors, we honor them all. And even better, we're lucky enough to be able to hear from a few of them tonight. First up is Latina achiever Lorraine Palacios. Lori is a managing director at Ramirez & Company, Incorporated, providing investment banking coverage to state agency and local issuers across Texas. She joined Ramirez in January 2011, and she has 20 years of public finance experience.
Hello, my name is Lori Palacios. I'm a managing director at Ramirez & Company, a Hispanic investment bank that is excited to be celebrating our firm's 50th year anniversary. I'm honored to be selected by my firm's leadership and colleagues to be a 2021 Latino Achiever. I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, and recognize that my success as a Latina woman on Wall Street has been guided both by strong family support as well as my participation in programs of similar mission to that of ASPIRA. Programs like the National Hispanic Institute, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute, as well as Sponsors for Educational Opportunity. This foundation has driven me to participate in a variety of mentorship and scholarship committees throughout my 20-year career. And I congratulate all aspirantes, and I encourage you to always give back, whether it's going to be through mentorship or monetarily, so we together can cultivate the next generation of Latino leaders. Thank you and congratulations.
Next is Ana Morales. Ana is the managing director within GSAM's global insurance business, where she is responsible for leading relationships with new and existing clients. She also serves in the firm-wide Hispanic Latinx Network's steering committee.
Hello everyone, my name is Ana Morales. I am a senior relationship manager within Goldman Sachs Insurance Asset Management business. I was born and raised in Colombia until the age of 11 when my mother, my 3 sisters, and I relocated to California. A few years ago, I was so incredibly fortunate to have the opportunity to temporarily pause my career in finance to dedicate myself to my passion for education as a New York City teaching fellow. I spent 2 years teaching at a wonderful high-need school in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, where my students were predominantly of Latino background. I think my favorite part of the job was simply watching my students' hard work and dedication pay off in huge ways. I found that experience both incredibly humbling and incredibly rewarding because it just reminded me of what a difference one person can make in the life of another. I am delighted to be receiving this recognition from ASPIRA and want to say thank you so much to the organization for allowing me to be a part of this. I am honored to hopefully in some small way serve as inspiration to our community, but in particular to our youth, to trust that todo es posible.
Another winner is Kenneth Ike. Kenny is a founding member of the McCann Latinx resource group, Somos McCann, and lead recruiter on the agency's largest client, Verizon. Kenny's efforts in both roles have greatly contributed to a more inclusive and vibrant team environment for all employees.
Hi, my name is Kenny Ike. I'm the Associate Director of Talent Acquisition at McCann World Group. First off, I want to thank ASPIRA and McCann New York for awarding me a 2021 Latino Achiever. To be recognized for giving back to the community is an amazing feeling. You know, I grew up first generation here. My father passed away when I was 6, so my family and I really strived hard to succeed, and since then, I've always taken a look back to help the community in any way I can. ASPIRA's mission is to help youth in any educational programs, and when I attended community school, I have to say, a little personal story of mine, I did not do well my first year, but I actually met some folks that really motivated me to do well, and that's how I got into Rutgers University. So since then, I've actually given back by speaking at community schools in underprivileged communities to really help them know what they're capable of. And to every aspirante out there, I would say, be genuine, be authentic, be open, get involved with anything and everything. The world is huge. Learn, be a perpetual learner, but always take the time to do things you love.
Our next Latina achiever is Angelique Hernandez. Angie is a Bronx-born and raised New York native. She attended Fordham University before jumping into the media industry and joining Zenith Media. Angie is the definition of lead with empathy and empower through example. Her commitment to her community and creating opportunities and spaces for those around her is seen and felt with every interaction.
Hi everyone, my name is Angelique Hernandez. I am an Associate Director on VM1's Partnerships and Content team. First and foremost, would love to thank ASPIRA. Being selected as one of this year's Circle of Achievers is quite the honor. So in thinking about my passions, especially within the Latino community, I'm really fortunate to have a passion that I can share. As a professional mambo dancer and instructor, it really gave me great joy to bring the love of dance to my students every week. And not only that, I took pride in keeping our culture alive and sharing that culture with all walks of life. Dance brings together so many walks of life from so many backgrounds, and so to be able to continue to share my culture, keep it alive, uplift people under this huge umbrella of music, it's a dream that I hope to continue living. To all my current aspirantes out there, remember, the world needs your talents, your drive, your perspective, your brilliance. And always, always pay it forward when it's your turn. Make us proud. Para adelante siempre. Thank you.
And finally, we have Abelardo Leites. Abel leads Verizon's consumer and business supply chain, responsible for more than $20 billion in annual spend. We're talking everything from the iPhones and Verizon wireless stores to the hard hats being worn by Fios technicians. Abel is a member of the Verizon employee resource group Somos and has served as a role model and mentor to public school students through HISPA.
Hi, I'm Abel Leites, Supply Chain Vice President at Verizon, and I'm honored to be selected as ASPIRA Latino Achiever for 2021. One of the things that impacted me the most growing up at school was having professionals come in, and sometimes ones that look like me, which was great, and having them talk to us about what they do, how they do it, and how they got to where they were. So when I volunteer time, I remember that, and that is what I like to focus on. To all the aspirantes out there, the piece of advice that I leave you with is really focus on your passion. Find out what you love, what you like, and that should be your career. The people that are really making an impact, the people that are really successful, they love what they do, and they really have fun at work. And that's the type of mindset that you should be thinking about as you start entering into what you're going to study and where you end up in a career. Love what you do and have fun at work. And with that, I'll leave you guys. Hasta luego.
Thank you to Lori, Anna, Kenny, Angie, and Abel for your video submissions. And you can read more about all of our achievers on ASPIRA's website, aspirany.org. And you can inspire greatness in our youth. All you have to do is text 41444 and text ASPIRA-NY. Make a donation now. Tonight, we also honor aspirantes who have been selected as the 2021 scholarship winners. Dr. Wilhelmina Perry, a longtime partner of ASPIRA's late founder, Dr. Pantoja, recorded a special message for tonight's scholars and all aspirantes.
Good evening. Dr. Pantoa accomplished many things in her lifetime, but I know that she considered ASPIRA to be her most rewarding accomplishment. I think she would point out that the times are difficult, and more than ever, you are required to have courage, hope, and prepare yourself to meet and stand in front of and face and help to resolve some of the difficulties that the nation faces. As to your community, they need you, and your education will certainly advance your own opportunities. But your education should also be a foundation for the work you do in the community. It must be. This was one of the fundamental reasons for forming ASPIRA, to educate young people with knowledge and skills to be able to offer services and opportunities, not only for themselves, but for those in their community. I would like to end with a quote from Dr. Pantoa. This is a quote from her book, Memoir of a Visionary, Antonia Pantoa. And I quote, "Another important pillar in the founding of ASPIRA was the need to establish an institution that would ensure that the youth of our community would be educated to acquire the knowledge and skills available to grow fully to their maximum potential." End quote. Enjoy this evening, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Dr. Perry, for joining us tonight with such an awe-inspiring message. You know, scholarship and leadership go hand in hand at ASPIRA and in corporate America. And thanks to the generosity of our corporate sponsors, 40 scholarships are being awarded tonight. Emilio Pimentel and Eloides Martinez, sponsored by Bank of America. Ramfi Acosta y Isabel Sen, sponsored by Barclays Capital. Catalina Tenesca and Randy Polanco, sponsored by Castle Oak Securities. Diego Den and Ashley Vidal, sponsored by Citi. Marcela Castro and Anthony Adames, sponsored by Con Edison. Eudis Reyes and Juan Rosas, sponsored by Credit Suisse. Johanka Almonte Pena and Jan Solano, sponsored by Goldman Sachs. Angie Seneng and Jovanka Gonzalez, sponsored by JP Morgan Chase. Yosaira Matos and Lydia Reyes, sponsored by Loop. Angel Mendoza and Melissa Sierra Perez, sponsored by McCann. Justin Liriano and Stephanie Alfaro, sponsored by McKinsey & Company. Griseli Taveras y Grismeli Taveras, sponsored by Microsoft. Emmanuel Jimenez and Sterling Tannen, sponsored by Morgan Stanley. Noelia Angomas and Catherine Benavides, sponsored by Publicis Group. Carola Diaz and Michelle Candiati, sponsored by Watchell. Daniel Modesto and Diover Abreu, sponsored by Wells Fargo. Jessica Yaudi and Julia Cordova, sponsored by Williams Capital. And finally, Perla Perez and Ibrahima Hayo are receiving Hector Gesualdo Memorial Scholarships, sponsored by Verizon. Let's hear from Perla. She's representing the Scholars of 2021.
Hi, my name is Perla Perez, and I go to high school for cultures, and I'm in 12th grade. I'm from the Bronx. I moved from Dominican Republic in 2019, and I went to my high school, and they say, "Oh, we have a program for you." And I was super scared because I didn't know any word in English. So I love ASPIRA. I feel like ASPIRA had made me a different person. They made me feel like I'm worth it. My first impression was like a family, you know, when you go a place and you don't feel scared, like you feel like you are in a family and people like accept you in the way you are and in the way that you speak. I love being in a place in which I can be myself and in a place where I can help people that look like me. So for me, my dream is like find a way that I can create a program like ASPIRA. My only target of people will be immigrants because like I want to help them with their language. I want to help them to find opportunities for them, and I want to make them feel like they can do it and they can do it together. I don't have words to describe how important is ASPIRA and how you will feel. They make me feel that I am powerful and I have a voice that has to be heard. I feel like in the future we all will come back and all the people that I had met, we are going to change this world.
Thank you, Perla, for those words. We congratulate all of our scholarship winners and look forward with expectation as each continues their leadership journey. Across 6 decades, aspirantes have always thrived against the odds, and that's never been more true than right now. For many kids and their parents, this year has presented some challenges that we've all come to call unprecedented. I know we've heard it so much, but it's true. They truly were unprecedented. So let's take a look at what ASPIRA meant to a middle schooler and his mom.
My name is Perpetual, and my name is Kojo. I go to school in Bronx High School for Medical Science. When I grew up, I wanted to become a pharmacist. So ASPIRA is a school program. You could do your homework. They host events. We go on school trips. You get to talk to different people you've never met, and you kind of get to bond with other people. I feel like everybody like ASPIRA is respectful and hardworking because they push you to become better of yourself. The activities they provide makes me think of trying new things in the future. I think it's really fun, and I recommend people to try it. So
I'm so happy about ASPIRA. Kojo just been in this country for 3 years, and he's doing perfectly well. I get so emotional, but I don't want him to know. I want my son to become my pharmacologist. I just want Kojo to be, something that he waits for himself and more.
Amazing stuff. And I just want to remind everyone that these scholarships and services would not be possible without your financial support. Just take a look at the screen with schools, at least $60,000 and 100% participation. Now, our next award is a very special and rare honor. It is a tribute to ASPIRA's founder, Dr. Antonia Pantoja. Dr. Pantoja, a school teacher in Puerto Rico, came to New York City in 1944, and she soon became a leader for the Latino community, creating ASPIRA to combat the high dropout rate among Puerto Rican youth in New York City in the 60s. She was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1997. Tonight's recipient, Chancellor Felix Matos Rodriguez, shares many of her incredible qualities, including her fierce commitment to uplift Latinos in America and empower them with education and political representation. We are so excited to honor Chancellor Matos Rodriguez tonight. His distinguished career spans both academia and the public sector. He is a scholar, teacher, administrator, and former cabinet secretary for the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. Prior to his appointment as Chancellor, Dr. Matos Rodriguez was president of CUNY's Queens College and of CUNY's Eugenio Maria de Hostos Community College in the Bronx, making him one of a select few U.S. educators who has led both a baccalaureate and a community college. Dr. Matos Rodriguez is a dedicated champion of accessibility, inclusion, and excellence in higher education.
My name is Felix Matos Rodriguez, and I'm the Chancellor of the City University of New York. I grew up in a household where stories about the past were always being told. That was part of the conversation, that was part of the identity, and I think that gave me a love and a passion for the history of Puerto Rico. My mom was studying literature and was on her way to become a teacher, and then I was born, and that changed her plans. My dad was an engineer, but I think he always had a teaching bug in him because he was always Whenever I asked him for help with my math, he was always about the process and the steps. So I think that I grew in a household that valued education. My grandmother on my father's side taught in the public schools in Puerto Rico for 40 years. So education was always there. There's so many things when you're an educator that make you proud. And I think being at the City University of New York in an institution that transforms people's lives, you can go to bed feeling that you're part of something larger and you're really contributing to making the life of others and therefore your life much better. And that gives me incredible pride and satisfaction. No matter how hard the day, how many hardships you face, there are always a couple of things that you can point to that you say, here's a life that had an impact. The pandemic has had a really, really disproportionate impact on our community. The largest groups that are not advancing, that have not transitioned well with all the changes that we have to do in K-12 with, distance learning and some of those modalities, and equally in higher ed, have been Latinos, and particularly Latino males. And this is why the work of organizations like ASPIRA is so important, because we need to make sure that we're connecting with every one of those students and making sure that whatever might have happened during this pandemic that might have disrupted their educational plans, that might have affected their family, that they can overcome that they have the support structures to regain some of that momentum and some of that learning that they have lost, and that they can pivot that and bring that to college education. So I think right now it's a crucial moment for the Latino community. And in that sense, I couldn't be prouder to be supportive of the great work that ASPIRA does, because that work has always been important. But at this time, it's time to double down and support the work that groups like ASPIRA do so that we can regain some of that momentum that we had over the last decade or so. ASPIRA and I have a really, really deep connection, and I feel sorry that I was never an aspirante. It's the one thing that's missing in my resume. When I came to the Center for Puerto Rican Studies, I was very, very interested in the history of the Puerto Rican community here in New York. And clearly, Antonia Pantoja and ASPIRA are two key elements of that history in that community. I was very fortunate that I got to meet Dr. Pantoja before she passed away. We actually were working on a book together that never got out because she passed away. But I was able also to convince her that her personal papers and the papers from ASPIRA will be part of the great collection that we have at the Center for Puerto Rican Studies, so that other generations could see the history of that idea and the evolution of this great organization. I was then fortunate enough to get tapped by Magda Irizarry, the phenomenal board chair and the force behind decades of directors and work in ASPIRA, to be part of the board, and I remain active. Many aspirantes become our students at CUNY, so it's full circle. We're very lucky to have great corporate partners, and Verizon is one of them at the City University of New York. I'll give you one example. I like to be known as the patron saint of paid internships, and I'll tell you why. When half of your students are first generation college, it is CUNY's role to be that opening door of opportunity to expose the students to the world of work and careers, because they have probably very loving parents at home, but they don't have the networks to help those kids, right, build their social networks and use it to get jobs or to experiment with jobs. First, it teaches you humility, because you come into contact with all these great individuals, many of them that came from humble origins. Many of them were immigrants or the children of immigrants that began really with limited opportunities, and they had their talent, their desire to succeed, their hard work ethic, all those things led them to succeed. And you get that in very different fields, right? I meet alumni, some are artists, some are lawyers, some are bankers, some are physicians, some are teachers, some are social workers, right? So the City University of New York is the American dream machine. It's like the Ellis Island of education for the City of New York. Is that entry of opportunity. The first things that come to my mind is I'm not worthy. Tony Pantoja was a great mentor, an inspiration to so many of us. I guess that this is Tony's way of reminding me that I still have work to do, because she would always praise you, always support you, but she'll remind you that there was work to do on behalf of the community. So this award first, I take really on behalf of the City University of New York, because I have an amazing colleagues, faculty, and staff who are dedicated. It remind me of my commitment to the Latino community and to keep supporting phenomenal organizations like ASPIRA. So thank you so much for the distinction. Muchísimas gracias. It means the world to me. That commitment to community, which is so rooted in your ASPIRA experience, make sure that you continue with it for the rest of your life. It will contribute to making the world around all of us a better place. It would allow you to continue to use your critical skills and your awareness and your analysis. And again, we are a moment where we need all hands on deck to come out from this pandemic, to improve our economy, to do it in a way that's equitable, to deal with some of the difficult questions that we have about how can we become a more anti-racist society. All those things require hard work, require love, requiring the skills that you learn as an aspirante. So put it to good use, and we'll be cheering for you as you get to do that in the years ahead.
Gracias, Chancellor Matos Rodriguez, for all you have done on behalf of Latinos, education, and ASPIRA. Congratulations, felicidades, for this most deserved recognition. All right, we're approaching the end of our time together, and you still have time to make an investment in Aspirantes. Just follow the directions on the screen and text to pledge. Now, you know, we've been told that once an aspirante, always an aspirante. So we've got a special video for you looking back on 60 years of life-changing work done by ASPIRA. Take a look.
Since being founded in 1961 by Dr. Antonia Pantoja, ASPIRA of New York has grown into a premier Latino youth services organization in New York City. Year after year, student after student, we've worked to improve lives through educational opportunities, leadership development, college access, and an unwavering commitment to community. It's about empowering our youth.
I learned that you can go to college and be successful, and you can achieve your dreams. Nobody can stop you.
Telling untold stories.
What ties us all together is humanity and story. And I learned how to tell my story, how to teach story by being an aspirante.
And opening up new worlds.
ASPIRA really lit a fire under me to say, yes, I am Latino. Yes, I come from an immigrant family. Yes, English is my second language. So what? You should be proud of where you're from and then challenge everyone's assumptions.
It's about creating the leaders of tomorrow.
I have seen myself change in the last 20-so-odd years of being an aspirante in miraculous ways. It's allowed me to become a different kind of leader, one that's really hands-off and understands the power and the development of young people.
And forging bonds that will last a lifetime.
The friends I made in ASPIRA are gonna be my friends forever. So whenever I need help, they be there. Whenever they need help, I'll be there for them also.
For 60 years, ASPIRA has served thousands of New York City students, schools, and communities. It's an investment in our shared future, and the impact is real.
Hello, aspirantes. My name is Lucy Baez. I was born in Puerto Rico, raised in Brooklyn. They say it takes a village, and ASPIRA is very much a part of that village. We developed a sense of pride, sense of belonging, and a sense of identity. And thanks to the mentoring, I was the first in my family to achieve a 4-year college degree, as well as a master's later on. Congratulations on 60 years of inspiring our youth. Thanks again.
My name is Evelyn, and I send greetings from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I became an aspirante in 1971 when I began high school in Manhattan, New York. I thank today ASPIRA for all of the assistance and inspiration that they provided for me to excel in my education, to the point that I was able to achieve my doctorate's degree. Today, I want to congratulate ASPIRA for its 60th anniversary, and I wish that they have 60 more, because I want them to continue to assisting the youth of the future the way that they assisted me.
Hi, I'm Matt Fernandez-Konigsberg, aspirante from Clarkstown North in Rockland County, class of 1998. ASPIRA is important to me because it's in my blood. My mother is an aspirante from the first club in the Bronx. My grandfather served on the first parents board and helped sign the Articles of Incorporation for ASPIRA. My sister is an aspirante, and I'm an aspirante, and now I'm honored to serve on the board of directors for ASPIRA of New York, Incorporated. Congratulations on your 60th anniversary, ASPIRA of New York.
Hola, aspirantes. My name is Sam Vasquez. I attended Brooklyn Tech High School from 1967 to 1971, during which time we founded El Nuevo Mundo, Brooklyn Tech's chapter of ASPIRA. ASPIRA taught us social responsibility. It taught us our history and our culture, and to embrace our cultural differences while understanding and accepting those in others. We learned the value of an education and how that would open doors for us in our future. I can't thank ASPIRA enough for its inspiration and direction in my life. Happy 60th anniversary, ASPIRA. Felicidades y que Dios te bendiga.
Hi, my name is Ashley Vasquez. I live in Spanish Harlem, and I was an aspirante from 2012 to 2014. I honestly can say that I would not be where I am today if it was not for ASPIRA. I was able to learn hard work and dedication to my career and my education through ASPIRA's AAA process and their ability to fully commit to their students. Thank you to ASPIRA, and I hope you have a wonderful 60th year anniversary.
My name is Cesar Ramirez Jr. I'm an aspirante of 1988. In 1989, I won Aspirante of the Year award. I am so grateful for what ASPIRA has done for me because it saved my life. The skills that I learned there was beyond leadership, it was pride. And I use that as my sword and shield in everything I do since 1988. And it has brought me to where I am today. And on the 60th anniversary of ASPIRA, I hope they continue their excellence for another 160 years. Once an aspirante, always an aspirante.
Mi gente aspirantes, ¿cómo están? This is Tomas Maldonado here from the Bronx, New York, aspirante from 1990 to 94, Lehman High School alumni, aspirante for life. ASPIRA has changed my life, given me a lot of opportunities. I've met a lot of people throughout my years at ASPIRA, people that I still stay in touch with to this day. You are truly admired, you are truly needed in our community. And you've changed this Boricua from New York City. So gracias y mi gente, God bless.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Edison, and I grew up in Rockland County, New York. I became a part of ASPIRA first because, well, my friends were a part of ASPIRA. And at the time, we didn't really think too much about it. We just figured it was just like every other club. But the more that we started showing up to meetings and events and everything, the more that we started to really understand the mission statement of ASPIRA. It was around that time that me and my friends started to realize that we have leadership qualities in us that we didn't really realize because we were sort of in our comfort zone for such a long time. And I learned so much from it, and I hope that although this year has been a little weird, I hope that you've all been adjusting to it accordingly and yeah, taking advantage of everything. So with that being said, congratulations, and I wish you the best.
My name is Vanessa Santiago, and I've been an aspirante since 1995. ASPIRA has afforded me so many opportunities as a young person. Opportunities that I never thought a little young Puerto Rican girl from Brownsville, East New York, Brooklyn, from the projects would ever have, like participating in an exchange program in Israel. As a young professional, it afforded me my first job, where I became a leadership development specialist, a part-time LDS for our leadership program. Now I sit here as the director of the Leadership and College Access Program 23 years later. And I wanted to just congratulate ASPIRA for all their hard work, commitment, endurance, resilience in these 60 years of really serving our Latino community and making sure that we, with authenticity and tenacity, continue to serve our students with pride in our culture, in our advocacy, and in who we are as people, and in solidarity. Congratulations, ASPIRA of New York. Well deserved.
Hello, ASPIRA, friends, families, and supporters.
My name is Rosveli Marquez Morales, and I am a proud aspirante class of 1995. Today, I live in Merrick, New York, and I have the pleasure of serving as chair of ASPIRA of New York. ASPIRA has always been very special to me, for it is the place that I found my dearest friends and my passion for community advocacy. I am so proud of the work that you have done over the years and so excited to be celebrating 60 years of inspiring youth, leadership development, providing college access, and most importantly, to transforming lives and letting our communities know that yes, we can. Pa'lante, congratulations.
Wow, I'm inspired, and I hope you are too, along with all aspirantes, past, present, and future. Thank you. Les felicito y les doy las gracias por tu generosidad. It's been my pleasure, un placer, to be your host. We are going to get through these times together. We are feeling hopeful right now. This has been an awesome night, and we will continue to help our young Latinos and Latinas succeed. Congratulations, ASPIRA, on your 60th anniversary. Buenas noches.